by 20 plus last time they were on the floor a week ago. And off we go, the Catamounts and the Hokies with Vermont on the road controlling the tap. Vermont Hokies here today looking for the first win since '06 against an ACC team, Dan. First look for Iofalia is down to the Hokies.
And again, Virginia Tech is going to be very focused on trying to run Vermont off that three-point line.
Sean Padula back in the lineup today. He missed the Valpo win with a foot sprain. But back ready to go today as Kidd turns it over. Now this Vermont starting look similar to what they've gone with all season long. Shamir Bogues, you got to watch today.
Well, Bogues is very athletic, very big and strong. He's going to present a matchup problem for the Hokies. You can see here there's nobody in the post for Vermont, and that's the way they like to play.
This is out of bounds going back to Virginia Tech. Yeah, it's 6'8" and smaller with shooters all around for Vermont.
And those 6'8" guys can shoot it as well. So this will be an interesting challenge. Vermont is a very, very good program.
Always a contender in the America East, champions last year off back-to-back tournaments. And that block for Iofalia. Shamir Bogues runs the point, and that's knocked out by Makai Long, making his second consecutive start for the Hokies. Dan, you were talking about the success of Vermont. It's a decade plus for John Becker. You're 13, and he's got a bunch of rings to go along with a bunch of America East Coach of the Year honors.
He was happy to tell us yesterday that his team played against Mike Young when Mike Young was at Wofford, and he didn't remember anything about the game except they won.
Won it on a last-second shot. This shot too heavy for Matt Pareto, and a scoreless first 2 minutes of this game.
And not surprising. It's been a week since both of these teams have played. And during exams, you don't practice either.
Now there's an outside hit for Hunter Cattoor. We were just talking about his range out there. The best to ever do it at Virginia Tech.
Well, he's got a very quick release, and he can shoot it when he's contested. Got to find him.
So his first outside hit goes down. Last 2 games, he's gotten back to hitting outside shots. That's short. And a rebound for the Hokies. Virginia Tech had back-to-back losses before they were coming back home to Blacksburg against FAU and Auburn. Games they didn't shoot it well, but Padula back on the court and back on the scoring sheet.
So worried about Virginia Tech and their ability to get the ball inside to Kidd, but you have to pay attention to those guards. Padula, he's a bit of a swashbuckler. He can make things happen.
There's Bogues to the rim, and Cattoor has the defense. A swashbuckler, huh?
Yep, a little bit of a daredevil. Now he tries to squeeze it in sometimes. He's an adventurous passer. Now what do you see Virginia Tech do? They're really pushing the defense out.
Just nothing doing on the offensive glass yet.
Well, Virginia Tech
6 straight possessions, one and done.
They're really pressuring the ball. And Connor, what I will tell you is, back in the Pete Carrill heyday at Princeton, the Princeton offense wasn't running backdoor cuts. The Princeton offense was shooting the three. And a lot of teams used to play Princeton by pressuring them. And if somebody drove by you, fine. Make them drive all the way to the basket and shoot a layup, shoot a 2, because that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to kick it out for 3, and that's what we're seeing Virginia Tech do right now.
Brandon Recksteiner into the game at point for Padula. As Long is off on a 3. And the rebound for the Catamounts. Their top scorer, TJ Long, rebounds a little bit for him, handles the ball for him, and goes for 14 tonight. All right, offensively, this looks like the first game back in the finals. But Cattoor with an outside hit to break the seal.
The holidays on Dale's farm weren't very festive. Until he saved big on a Bluetooth speaker with Amazon's last-minute deal.
Can't sleep.
Just a lot on my mind.
I can't sleep either.
It only gets tougher with age.
Mom, what?
Well, knowing Progressive can protect your home, auto, and business should help you relax.
Good, because I could use a good night's sleep.
Me too. You know how early a chimney sweep gets up every day?
Wait, is this all a dream?
Why would Jamie be in my dream?
I am America's biggest spokesperson.
Debatable.
I said biggest.
Well, he's got you there.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
The love that goes into a Subaru comes out when Subaru and our retailers share the love. 116,000 animals supported, 3,300 wishes granted, 4.3 million meals provided, and over 400 national parks protected. Be a part of something bigger. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
Vermont on the road looking for their first ACC win since 2006. John Becker in his 15th year. This goes back in the program all the way to 1900 when you went by your first initial, your middle initial, then your last name on the roster sheet. And flash forward about a century, this is when Tom Brennan was the head coach. They had their first America East championship, went to the tournament, and John Becker took over 13 years ago, and the winning has carried on. 2012, they won the America East, and they're a favorite again this year for the 7th time in 8 years to repeat as champions for the 3rd year in a row.
They're 0 for 6 so far, Connor, and only 2 of those 6 have been three-point shots.
That's where they get a lot of their offense, and that's off as well. An 0 for 7 start with a rebound for Barron.
There's what you're talking about, the program success for Vermont. They trail only Gonzaga in that kind of success. That's pretty good company if you're in with the Zags.
It sure is. Nico got that clawed away in the post, and Bogues away with it for the Catamounts. Down to the post, doubled. Barron down to help, out for a 3. And still nothing doing on the Fiorillo miss.
The Hokies defense, even when Vermont gets a shot, the defense is forcing Vermont to hurry a little bit. The Catamounts have to settle in here. They're going a little too fast.
And so Virginia Tech pitching the shutout. Here's Kidd trying to add to the lead, but the hook is short.
So it shows you how much I know about basketball. We talked about Lynn Kidd and three-pointers for Vermont before the game, and so far we haven't had anything from either one of those sources.
Is that the post-finals asterisk?
Yes.
Is that what's going on here?
Hopefully.
Well, Bogues on the give up, hands on it for Barron, and Recksteiner away with it.
That's what we talked about. When they drive, they're looking to kick.
And there's a three for Tyler Nickel.
That's a good sign for the Hokies because Nickel has not shot the three very well this year. And he is a guy who can really put some points on the board. At least his high school record would show you that.
The 2022 Virginia High School Basketball Player of the Year. Refound his shot a little bit in that Valpo win a week ago. And there are the first points for Vermont with Aaron Deloney.
Deloney, the sixth man of the year last year in the America East, and comes off the bench trying to give him a little bit of an offensive spark.
They've toyed with that on the Vermont side of, is he a starter? Is he going to be in that familiar spot as a backup? And John Becker saying the jury's still out on that, but bringing him off the bench again today for the third time in 4 games. And into the post, that doesn't sit down. Fiorillo misses the bunny.
Wow, and that was point blank range. It wasn't uncontested, but you need your big guy to put that one in.
And the Kidd going to work in the post. Forced to give up. Nickel right back to him. Kidd with the spin, and he is fouled.
Talked about Nickel and his ability to make three-point shots. Well, ball movement is what creates this here. The Hokies do a great job getting the ball from side to side, and that's really put some pressure on the defense. You go from one side to the other side. The defense, which was helping out, now has to react back, and they didn't get back to Nickel in time.
Nickel in the Valparaiso game last Saturday, 4 of 7 from 3. Dan, you're talking about it, a guy that was trying to refine his stroke again. Maybe he has to these last 2 games.
Checking in for Virginia Tech, number 3,
Now, prior to that game, he had struggled a little bit from 3, and he wasn't the only guy struggling from 3. You know, Collins, who's not playing today, and Barron and Long all have struggled from 3, which is why Virginia Tech's three-point shooting percentage is only down about 33, but they're a much better shooting team than that.
I figure that's going to go up. They're 11th in the ACC in shooting threes right now. Having Nickel and Barron hitting shots last game really helps. An 8-point jump ahead of the under-12 timeout for Virginia Tech in his first game back from finals. Deloney can't hit. And the rebound for Padula, who's back on the floor.
Again, the Hokies doing a great job preventing dribble penetration.
Elijah Poteet off the bench out to Padula, and that rolls off in a 3. Deloney slides it inside, and the easy one's not going right now. Joba off the bench from point blank.
Well, when Joba caught the ball the first time, he was out at the free throw line, had clear lane to the basket, didn't take it, and as a result, he made it a harder shot than it had to be, and they pay the price because Lynn Kidd scores, or excuse me, Poteet scores easily inside.
We mentioned how Vermont likes to spread the floor. Big advantage, you'd think, for Poteet and Kidd with some size, with some weight down in the block today.
Certainly
5 on the shot clock.
Again, great job.
Got to get it going. Bretton Mills.
Well,
at the end of the shot clock, rebound for Barron.
They can't get anything on the dribble penetration.
Just that one basket for Aaron Deloney. That's been it for the Catamounts almost midway through this first half.
And Vermont is not a team that's...
Knocks in the 3 for the Hokies.
Hokies got it going now, but Vermont is not a team that sets a lot of ball screens. They employ motion offense, they do dribble handoff, but just nothing going for them now.
And the Hokies have knocked in 3 from outside on Kids Day from Blacksburg.
Can't sleep.
Just a lot on my mind.
I can't sleep either.
It only gets tougher with age.
Mom, what?
Well, knowing Progressive can protect your home, auto, and business should help you relax.
Good, because I could use a good night's sleep.
Me too. You know how early a chimney sweep gets up every day?
Wait, is this all a dream?
Why would Jamie be in my dream?
I am America's biggest spokesperson.
Debatable.
I said biggest.
Well, he's got you there.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
Strumming, all your friends humming, yeah, it's a good time coming. Everything you wanted, it's right here, y'all. Everything you needed, it's right here, y'all. We got the tunes bumping, got the kids jumping, yeah, it's a good time coming.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but also our community.
And the Subaru Share the Love event is truly an example of that.
Over $285 million donated is phenomenal.
It absolutely sets us apart from all other car companies.
Right now, get a new Subaru, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves.
Find what you love what you find. Always lowest prices at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Man, I hate dusting.
Then get you some Easy Does It dust spray. Now in Pine Center.
Who are you talking to? Hey, Tebow, you got any floss?
After meals, I tackle gingivitis with Minty Floss.
These guys seem really good at endorsing. I don't know if I'm at that level yet.
Level up with the 2023 Nissan Rogue. Go Rogue in a Nissan Rogue.
Come on, you got this. Joe's Iced Tea of UCLA. Quench your thirst the Bruin way.
Quench your thirst. Can't do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Back in Blacksburg, the Hokies have knocked down 3 threes to lead by 13, almost midway point in the first half. Well, a week ago today was a good day for Virginia Tech head coach Mike Young. His alma mater, Radford High School, they became the Virginia Class II state champions, and he addressed the media after the game and said it was a good day for this good old boy from Virginia. Very, very happy to see that, as well as a win for his Hokies last Saturday.
Well, even though we've declared Mike Mr. Virginia, I can tell you that everybody in Virginia wasn't thrilled about that Radford win. I live in Augusta County in Virginia, and they beat Riverheads High School, which is a school in Augusta County in Virginia.
A very cold start for Vermont, and wave this off with TJ Hurley on the attack, going back the Hokies' way.
Well, how cold? Vermont has now had 15 possessions, and in those 15 possessions, they are shooting 1 for 14. They've had 1 turnover, and they don't have any offensive rebounds.
And that was an offensive foul on Hurley, and that is a great sign for the Hokies. Another game of Robbie Barron's hitting outside shots.
Robbie Barron, of course, transferred in from Northwestern, and he shot 35% from beyond the arc at Northwestern. And so it's really important to Virginia Tech that they have a guy in that position with the offense they play who can make a three.
Short from Io Falia, and it's a 1 for 14 start for Vermont. And the threes keep raining down with Jaden Young knocking one in.
I mean, every pass, every dribble is pressured.
He's been part of this early. Off of the shot fake. Leave underneath. And Brenton Mills forces the contact and the Hokie foul. And it goes on Robbie Barron, number 1 on him.
Brent Mills is one of the few guys on the Vermont team that looks to take the ball hard to the basket, but even in that case, he got inside, but the defense collapsed on him. They were very fortunate to get a foul call because he was up in the air with nothing to do.
A very creative finisher, Brenton Mills, and a foul before the inbound. He got that on Poteet, his first. Well, Vermont with over 40% of their offense coming from outside, and Barron with the stick on Fiorillo.
Now, when they do get the ball and try to attack the basket, Virginia Tech has defended it very well, and that was really a nice job by Barron to move his feet and not swing his arm to pick up the foul.
Again, Virginia Tech more than halfway to their average on the season for made threes. It's an offensive foul. It hasn't just been Cattoor and Padula. It's been 5 different guys making threes already for Mike Young and Virginia Tech.
And again, that's a really good sign. Mike Young, his offense works best when there's a lot of versatility. You have 5 threes made by 5 different guys.
A couple of guys that they wanted to see stay hot after that Valpo game. Saw Barron hit one, saw Nickel hit one. And Deloney not there on a 3 from the corner. Recksteiner knocks that down.
All right, 6 threes by 6 different guys.
No sign of a shooting slump for anybody on Virginia Tech coming out of finals week. A 24-2 start. And a turnaround flip for Mills, no. A 16-zip run of the last 4.5 minutes for Virginia Tech. And Young off hands, Padula Recksteiner recovers it. The dump off for Kidd, and off the fake. Can't hit the easy one. And Vermont still searching for that first 3. Beretta way off.
Way off. And Vermont is a team that scores the 3 very effectively in transition, but just nothing doing here so far.
0 for 8 for the Catamounts. There's Nickel from the mid-range.
You know, as the coach for Vermont, John Becker, he's trying to do anything. And there they finally get one on the inside.
And Nick Fiorillo with the easy one. The guy for Vermont that's broken out recently at injuries a lot of last year, putting together 3 games in a row where he scored it well.
He's a very good passer.
Yep. There's Nickel. Contested shot. Everything falling for Tyler Nickel.
Now he's the all-time leading Virginia high school scorer. Didn't see a lot of time at North Carolina last year.
And ACC to ACC transfer, and that's out off the Catamounts and Brenton Mills. Hokies with a big lead and the ball when we come back. Everybody's getting in on it. 6 different 3-point makers. Recksteiner the latest from Virginia Tech.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA,
More than you might think. For the military community and their families.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
All the parts you need at the prices you want. Guaranteed to fit every time. So you can keep your ride or die alive.
The love that goes into a Subaru comes out when Subaru and our retailers share the love. 116,000 animals supported, 3,300 wishes granted, 4.3 million meals provided, and over 400 national parks protected. Be a part of something bigger. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
Next. Next. Next.
Smiling first can help someone find the courage to do the same.
So, Mrs. Ramos, what does your son do?
He says he sells clouds. He works in a cloud company and sells clouds to other companies that want clouds.
So does he make these clouds?
No, someone else makes them. He sells them.
Have you ever seen these clouds?
No, he says they're invisible. Maybe I shouldn't have let him play so many video games.
Parents don't get B2B. LinkedIn does. And helping marketers reach over 70 million decision makers makes LinkedIn the place to be to be.
We thought three-point shooting would be a big factor in today's game, but it has been Virginia Tech knocking the threes down, not Vermont. The Hokies have had great ball movement. They really have done a nice job spacing the floor, creating open opportunities. They have had 6 different players each make a three. So Vermont, which we said before the game, scores more than 40% of their points from beyond the arc. They made 0 threes. The Hokies 6 out of 10, and they've been 10 really good looks.
That number tells you just about all you need to know on why it's a 24-point distance between Virginia Tech and Vermont early, as Cattoor can't hit, and Kidd keeps it alive. But into the backcourt it goes. Vermont fouled with Bogues. He'll head to the free throw line.
And even in that situation, with seemingly you're ahead by 24 points, the guy is going down on a layup. Virginia Tech not willing to concede anything. They contest the shot and pick up a foul.
So Shamir Bogues in and out. A guy that's hit half of his free throws on the year. Coming up next, we'll send you to John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville for the 3rd game of our quadruple header. It's Northeastern against Virginia, the 22nd ranked Cavaliers. That's coming up next on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Vermont had Northeastern a couple of games ago. Good road win for the Catamounts. Take on a top 25 team on ACC Network tonight. And foul off ball.
That's on Vermont's 24, Matt Moretto. That's his second.
And that'll go against Matt Moretto. And the number 4 on Vermont.
Okay. Vermont's man-to-man really has been ineffective so far.
Getting late in the clock here. Nickel short on it. The contest came from Io Falia, and this is out of bounds on the baseline. Didn't hit rim. And it won't matter going down the other way with Vermont anyway.
Vermont trying to pick up the defensive tempo there, and that was a pretty good contest to that shot.
Second for Virginia Tech, number 11, John Camden.
Yeah, John Camden with some early clock here in the first half. A couple games ago, Camden with some good run, 9.6 rebounds on the road at Auburn.
If you're Vermont, if you're going to get behind by 23 points, you may as well do it with a lot of time left, but they've got to get some baskets, and there's a tough one, but they really have to tighten it up on the defensive end of the court.
Yeah, Dan, first bucket for TJ Long, their top scorer at 14 points a game.
It's going to be hard for Vermont to beat you 2 at a time, particularly when they're behind. And so I think the Hokies, they don't mind giving up that tough 2, but they've done a great job limiting the ability of the Catamounts to shoot the 3.
That's what's got to scare you a little bit, right? And not falling asleep before halftime is that Vermont can get back in the game real quickly with how they shoot.
Well, you can't let up. You got to keep playing and playing hard, particularly defending that 3-point shot.
Rex Steiner hit earlier, not here. Long. And can't heat it up after his first make. A possession to go.
And that's the kind of shot Vermont wants to get. They get down the court in transition. He had a wide open look and just flat missed it.
Rex Steiner down for Kidd, and this will be down on the floor against Ayo Falia. And the final foul to give in this first half for the Catamounts.
Well, Falia is 6'8", 210. Kidd 6'10", 235. And Kidd is a very, very good back to the basket guy. He's a tough match for Falia down on the inside.
There's Cattoor on the take, scoop, no. Kidd with the tap back.
Cattoor's ability to drive to the basket draws the defense, and so there's nobody available to block out, and all Kidd does is follow the ball to the basket.
You know, a lot of the action coming from outside for Virginia Tech. And the Kidd getting in on it.
Not a lot of player movement for Vermont at the moment.
No, just Bogues on the take. And Veretto down the baseline on the reverse. And there was a crafty move to get there, but no finish.
This Virginia Tech defense has turned a team of cutters like Vermont into dribblers. And when you play the motion style offense that Vermont plays, unless you're driving the ball to the basket, you can't be dribbling the thing.
Fiorillo does get to the rim, and that counts, plus the foul, but stagnant against this Virginia Tech defense for most of this first half.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
People are choosy, and people can choose from different types of COVID-19 vaccines too. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted is a protein-based choice. It has not been approved by the FDA, but it has been authorized for emergency use as a COVID-19 vaccine for people ages 12 and up. The Novavax vaccine is not an mRNA vaccine. Instead, it uses traditional protein-based technology to help protect against COVID-19. Don't get the vaccine if you've had an allergic reaction to it or its ingredients. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Cases of myocarditis and pericarditis have occurred. Side effects may include injection site reactions, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, joint pain, nausea or vomiting, and others. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if this vaccine is right for you. Find the Novavax vaccine and fact sheet at findnovavax.com.
The love that goes into a Subaru comes out when Subaru and our retailers share the love. 116,000 animals supported, 3,300 wishes granted, 4.3 million meals provided, and over 400 national parks protected. Be a part of something bigger. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
Today is the annual Kids Takeover game. Rumored that the PA announcers, some of the camera operators will be kids. One is a cheerleader, one might be the mascot in a few years. But yeah, about 80 kids signed up to be here today. MJ Collins not a go. He was ruled out at shoot-around this morning. Mike Young just said he's out. No further explanation on that. But Dan, one guard back in, Sean Padula. They get him back. MJ Collins not out there, not dressed today.
Well, so far today they haven't needed MJ Collins, and you know, again, Mike Young didn't say what was wrong with MJ Collins, but you mentioned 80 kids signed up for the Kids Takeover Day, but only 64 showed up today because the others got sick. So there must be some kind of disease spreading around here in Blacksburg, and maybe Collins is suffering from that.
I feel like you're tempting fate with the health department in Blacksburg. Starting rumors. Collins, a guy that can create his own shot. It's starting to come around with his outside shot against Louisville a couple games ago. See if they can get him back for the American game or in ACC play on the 30th. Now Vermont trying to get it going from outside, still can't. Fiorillo with the miss.
And there was better ball movement, player movement that time, and that was the shot that Vermont normally makes.
Padula slides it in, Poteet can't hit it. Vermont 0 of 10 from outside. A 38% three-point shooting team, first in their league.
And a lot of those three-point misses have been very contested shots.
Another one that's contested, but one finally goes down for Fiorillo.
Fiorillo comes into the game shooting 50% from out there. Not very many. And John Becker wants him to take more, and he'll continue to encourage him if he's going to make him like that.
John Becker saying that he's such a good passer, he's kind of deferred to that a little bit too much at times. And see if that can loosen things up for the Catamounts. But good on ball D for Cattoor to earn the tie-up. And the arrow is with the Hokies.
Second from the line, number 0,
Hunter Cattoor is an outstanding defensive player. But there's what Vermont wants to do. Take the ball into the lane. That time Petit got a little too far away from Fiorillo. But that's exactly what Vermont wants to do, is force the defense to come and help and then kick it out for the three. But that's the first time they've had success this afternoon.
Oh, looked a lot like those package of highlights you talked over in the open, Dan.
Basically role reversal.
Now there's a three for Jaden Young, another guy in the book today from three for Virginia Tech. Young out from deep.
But great ball movement and player movement by the Hokies. The defense collapses and Jaden Young gets a wide open look.
Looking like the Auburn game when he hit 3 outside shots. 2 of 2 start for Jaden Young. Now Vermont run off the line again, but Jackson Skipper gets to the rim.
Well, at this point, you'll take that. If you're Virginia Tech, and obviously you'll take it if you're Vermont too. They need anything to go down.
Oh, John Camden in on it.
What is that, the 8th guy who's made a 3?
Timeout, Virginia Tech.
7 different guys have hit a 3 for Virginia Tech in the first half.
USAA? Yeah. They have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
Final exam week for Virginia Tech must have just been a week full of being on the Dr. Dish machine because 7 different guys have hit a 3 coming off a week-long layoff.
Well, and you know, it hasn't hurt their defense at all either because Vermont, you can see there, we've got 45.5 seconds left in the first half. Their low in scoring for the first half is 27.
Ben, I don't think they're getting there.
No, I don't think they're getting there either. Not without a bigger spurt than we've seen so far.
3 from long, and that goes down.
Boy, that was a very fast trigger by Long, and that was not a completely uncontested shot. Really impressed with the Hokies defensively.
Yeah. Long at 45% on the year, leading the America East. And that was his first 3 on the game, giving 5 points in the first half. The shot clock is off here. Hokies with the last touch in what's been a dominant first half. Down to 2 seconds. Into Kidd on the fall away. Not here. 10 run over Virginia Tech, but it was the Hokies with that big start defensively, knocking down 3s with a big first half lead, looking for their 3rd consecutive win.
The Hokies stay in the man-to-man, and again, now you see some player movement. We didn't see a lot of that in the first half for Vermont. They got into the habit of just dribbling the ball.
Long out to show on Hurley. Now he slips past in the first points in this half to the Catamounts.
Hokies backed off defensively that time. Didn't see that in the first half. That won't make Mike Young happy.
It had been 8 years since Vermont had scored that few points in the first half, but 1-1 for starting in the second half, and Nickel is hit on a 3-pointer.
That was Vermont's number 20, TJ Long. That's his first team foul. He's the Catamounts.
Well, you understand Long wants to be aggressive, and Nickel did knock down a 3 in the first half, but the problem is you fouled Hunter Nickel, who's a 37% three-point shooter, but he's a 72% free throw shooter. So you just doubled his shooting percentage by putting him at the line.
Back-to-back good games, scoring it for Nickel. He's up to 9 points on the game. Women's basketball coming up on Sunday. Purdue at number 14, Notre Dame. Noon Eastern time on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
That's a really good sign for Virginia Tech that Hunter Nickel over the last couple of games has started to score effectively. That will build his confidence, and that will certainly help the Hokies, giving them another guy who has to be defended, Tyler Nickel.
Nickel's best game came against Boise State. That was a top 100 win in non-conference for the Hokies. We're pressing toward that again today as Hurley has the miss for the Catamounts. Cattoor turned the corner. Nickel leaves it for Cattoor, and that two-man game led to an open look, but Cattoor with the miss.
Nice job by Nickel to recognize that Cattoor was open.
Now Cattoor going 1-on-2. He finishes in transition.
And Cattoor is a guy who can get to the basket. He's been more aggressive this year. He's really picked up his free throw numbers.
Hurley in front of the help. He's fouled. Knocks down the floater and has one more at the line.
We talk about the fact that Cattoor is an outstanding defender, and what great anticipation. He anticipates the pass, steps back, and then this is a tough shot against heavy pressure. Hurley just made a basket, now drives to the goal, and again, if you're going to drive to the goal and take a tough shot, okay, but you don't want to foul him. They're looking for threes, and they got a three the old way.
That was part of the recruitment for TJ Hurley. He was asked recently, why'd you choose Vermont? His answer was, well, they shoot a lot of threes. That's all I wanted in a school. If they shoot threes, I'm good with them.
They shoot threes when the opponent allows them to, and Virginia Tech, for the most part today, has not.
Into the post with Kidd, gets single coverage, series of fakes, and a pretty left for Lynn Kidd.
Timeout, Vermont.
That forces a timeout. The Hokies plus 21 on their home court.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
People are choosy, and people can choose from different types of COVID-19 vaccines too. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted is a protein-based choice. It has not been approved by the FDA, but it has been authorized for emergency use as a COVID-19 vaccine for people ages 12 and up. The Novavax vaccine is not an mRNA vaccine. Instead, it uses traditional protein-based technology to help protect against COVID-19. Don't get the vaccine if you've had an allergic reaction to it or its ingredients. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Cases of myocarditis and pericarditis have occurred. Side effects may include injection site reactions, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, joint pain, nausea or vomiting, and others. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if this vaccine is right for you. Find the Novavax vaccine and fact sheet at findnovavax.com.
And Doug. And Doug says you can customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. He hits his mark center stage and is crushed by a baby grand piano. Are you replacing me? With this guy?
Customize and save with Liberty Bibberty.
He doesn't even have a mustache.
Oh, look, a bee-boo.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but also our community.
And the Subaru Share the Love event is truly an example of that.
Over $285 million donated is phenomenal.
It absolutely sets us apart from all other car companies.
Right now, get a new Subaru, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
I recommend La Roche-Posay Lipicar Body Cream. One application a day keeps very dry skin away. 48-hour hydration helps repair the skin barrier. La Roche-Posay.
Coming up tonight in the ACC, right here on ACC Network. Next, you'll see Northeastern and number 22 Virginia. The Cavaliers not only in the top 25, but only lost against Wisconsin and won convincingly in their ACC opener. SMU and Florida State. Florida State trying to get it going again. They've lost their last three, coming off a loss against South Florida. And what should be a good game later on tonight. Nothing But Net recaps the day around the conference. Tonight, 10 Eastern time on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Basically, wall-to-wall coverage. You can just park it on the couch the rest of the day and watch some ACC hoops. Closes out the guys in the studio tonight. Brenton Mills out of the timeout for the Catamounts, back on the board.
One of the few uncontested layups that Vermont has had, and again, you're trying to contest the three, and so if you give up a couple of twos, you got to live with that.
Nickel, short on it, and backside rebound for Veretto.
A nice ball movement to get that three, though. Inside, going back out. Kidd is very good passing the ball back out.
Good ball movement for the Catamounts to get an easy look. Slides off. First offensive rebound of the day for Vermont, with Io Falia finishing it.
And that was created by ball movement. Even though Io Falia missed that shot, he was in great position to rebound because the Hokie defense was scattered.
It's one thing to have all the misses, Dan, but none of them have been picked up by the Catamounts until then. The first second chance, and Kidd is fouled on his second chance.
Well, again, you talk about ball movement, and here the ball goes from side to side, and then he drives to the basket, and Mills gets an uncontested look. Haven't seen very many of those today, and we mentioned earlier, Mills is a guy who probably is their best driver other than Bowes.
Bogues, no field goals yet in this game for the Catamounts as Kidd gets hacked one more time.
Kidd is a guy who gets down inside, and when he gets fouled, he can make free throws. And to your point about Vermont and their offensive rebounding, generally if you're a three-point shooting team, you're not a strong offensive rebounding team, and Vermont is not. Now, only one offensive rebound this late in the game is a little extreme even for them. But it's just been one of those days for John Becker and the Catamounts.
Kidd's second is down. You know, we were talking about this with the Virginia Tech side of things this week, Dan. You see the touch for Lynn Kidd, 87% free throw shooter. We wondered if maybe we'd start to see him stretch out the range and shoot some threes, but Virginia Tech basically told us, no, he's going to be a 15-and-in type player.
Well, he's a good mid-range shooter. They don't need anybody else to shoot threes. They got enough of those guys. What they need is an inside presence to occupy the defense so he can kick it out for threes.
Like this guy, Hunter Cattoor splashes one in.
And that was Petit. Kidd was out of the game, and so Petit, who subs for Kidd, he is also a guy who is a very good passer out of the post.
They set up the second three of the day for Hunter Cattoor, who's up to 8 points. Your open look, not here. The miss for Jackson Skipper.
That was only Jackson Skipper's second three-point attempt of the season. He hadn't played very much.
One of the guys that John Becker tried out when things were really dry in that first half. That's a block. And Fiorillo had the inside position. Boozer out.
Ball goes inside to Petit, and at that time they didn't double down on Petit. Everybody just turned their head, and they totally lost Hunter Cattoor. And if you're going to lose somebody beyond the three-point arc for Virginia Tech, Hunter Cattoor is not the guy.
A first child can be stressful. So to make things a little less overwhelming, Progressive is offering special rewards for new parents. But we're not stopping there. We think even cat ladies deserve rewards. Left-handed people, people with birthdays, recent grads who can't move on with their lives. All of them. And these people we found on the internet can be automatically enrolled in the Progressive Loyalty Program and get special rewards. Even people who just got back from Europe.
It's actually pronounced croissant. I was just in Europe.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
The love that goes into a Subaru comes out when Subaru and our retailers share the love. 116,000 animals supported. 3,300 wishes granted, 4.3 million meals provided, and over 400 national parks protected. Be a part of something bigger. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
Okay. Marco.
Hello.
Marco. Ronan, Marco. Marco.
There's something bad in the water, and it's after all of us.
Marco.
Night Swim, January 5th, rated PG-13.
Hey y'all, while you're working on your applications and visiting campuses, here are 3 things to keep in mind about SUNY. First, you'll be receiving a high quality education. Our campuses are consistently in the top tier of the national rankings. Second, you have access to a variety of supports throughout your entire academic journey. And lastly, SUNY is affordable, meaning you may be able to graduate with less student loan debt. See you, SUNY.
If you're at Patrick Gym the night that Yale and Vermont played in early December, this is one you'll remember forever. 3.8 seconds left, 5-point game, and this game pretty much looks over. Aaron Deloney with the layup, so 0.6 left. There was a foul. Vermont gets to inbound. Deloney into TJ Long, and this was a 4-point play. That tied it, and then he hit the free throw, and improbably Vermont won it. The ESPN Analytics had that as a less than 1% chance that Vermont would win when they were down 3 with 0.6 seconds left. Spiked up to 88% after TJ Long was fouled. That's a pretty incredible visual. Both what you saw in the highlights and with that probability graph right there.
Well, the probability graph probably doesn't look very good for Vermont right at the moment.
You think it's plus or minus a 0.08% chance that they win this game? What do you got?
I would have to say minus.
Less than that?
Yes. I mean, Virginia Tech is playing really well, and Vermont's still struggling to score from beyond the 3-point arc. And interestingly enough, there's a lineup in the game for Vermont. It looks like John Becker's giving guys a chance to play who don't normally play.
You're right, it is minus 0.6% chance, according to ESPN Analytics right now, that Vermont comes back and wins. And a slam by Seth Joba brings him a little bit closer.
And Joba has only played in 6 games this year. This is game number 7.
An extremely gifted offensive guy, Seth Joba, but it's down on this end. He committed the fouls. It's down on this end that's kept him off the floor a little bit.
So Petita's a big guy to guard in there, but here, drive to the basket, and a lane opens up. And again, you can understand the Hokies not being as intense defensively as maybe they were earlier in the game. But John Camden overcommitted that time, and as a result, easy layup for Joba.
Called for the foul down on this end. Back to that matchup with Kidd. And he wheels in, and 2 real quick fouls on Joba.
Kidd uses his body so effectively down on the inside. He feels where the defender is, and then he can spin either way. He's got a nice touch inside. And as you mentioned before, he's an over 80% free throw shooter, so when you foul him, he's going to convert.
Been there a couple times. Here's Barron through contact. Got his own, brought it down, and Joba's there. Almost taken away. Nobody wanted to secure it.
Well, a lot of people wanted to secure it. They just kept falling on it, and the ball kept going closer and closer to the sideline. They wanted to secure it. Nobody could grab it. And with all those bodies flying.
Poor phrasing. It wasn't about the desire. It was more about the execution of actually grabbing it.
Mike Young's got to be careful over there. All those bodies, he's going to break an ankle.
2 on the clock. Cattoor gets to the free throw line. I liked how candid he was, Mike Young was, after the Valpo game. They won that game by 21. There was a lot to like in that game for Virginia Tech. But he was thinking back on the first half of that game and was very pensive about how to describe the way his team turned the ball over. And he finally settled on one word: disgusting. And he kind of pounded his fist down to the table.
Oh.
Checking back in for the Hokies, 13, Jacob Young.
One of the things that Mike Young was bothered about with last year's team is he felt as if they didn't rebound well, they didn't play well enough defensively, and they turned the ball over a little too much.
They've been very clean today, though, Dan. Just 5 turnovers. And through the back door, that's out of bounds back to the Hokies.
Again, the Virginia Tech defense, they've really done a nice job pressuring the ball. They've had a couple of breakdowns, but you're going to have some breakdowns. But obviously they've built this 20-point lead, and they're holding a really good three-point shooting team to almost nothing from outside the arc.
Barron can't hit that. Offensive rebound, Kidd. He goes right back to work, and before the help can get there, he finishes.
What great use of the pivot foot, the spin, and then the long step toward the basket. That's classic back to the basket postman play.
A double-double for Kidd off that strong pivot. 10 points, 11 rebounds. And the leave-off nicely done. Fiorillo there to finish.
That's a nice job by Fiorillo to catch that one. He was trying to get in position for a rebound. I think he was surprised the ball hit him in the chest.
Usually it's Fiorillo setting guys up, taking John Becker's advice and shooting more. And so is this guy, Lynn Kidd, working on the double-double, adding to it.
Again, when he gets the ball inside and he doesn't get any help, nobody comes to help Fiorillo. This is just really tough because he's a great job spinning. He comes back with his right hand, and then this time he's going to come back with the left hand. And so big guy inside, not only can he shoot free throws, but he uses both hands just as effectively. He's a tough guy to defend down there.
There's that touch we're talking about from the free throw line, completing the three-point play.
Back in for the Hokies, number 11, John Kenyon.
Perfect day for Kidd there. 5 of 5 from the free throw line, and his Hokies up big, looking for their 3rd straight win. Maloney cut off. The winning 6th man of the year has to give it up. Here's Hurley working on Padula, and Padula called on the body.
Padula would have been fine in that particular instance if he just moved his feet and moved laterally, but he moved into Hurley and created the contact. Once you establish legal guarding position, you can move backwards or laterally to maintain that position, but you can't move into the dribbler.
That was a demonstration from Mike Young, it looked like. Get in the stance. And Hurley gets one on the pull-up.
There's 2 guys there for Virginia Tech. That's just a really good move by Hurley.
Young hits some outside shots today, handling the ball in this trip down. And a lob into Kidd, and he's pushed. Loretto didn't like it.
That's on Vermont's 24, Matt Loretto. That's his 3rd personal foul. 18 foul.
Under 12 in Blacksburg, just after final exams.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
People are choosy, and people can choose from different types of COVID-19 vaccines too. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted is a protein-based choice. It has not been approved by the FDA, but it has been authorized for emergency use as a COVID-19 vaccine for people ages 12 and up. The Novavax vaccine is not an mRNA vaccine. Instead, it uses traditional protein-based technology to help protect against COVID-19. Don't get the vaccine if you've had an allergic reaction to it or its ingredients. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Cases of myocarditis and pericarditis have occurred. Side effects may include injection site reactions, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, joint pain, nausea or vomiting, and others. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if this vaccine is right for you. Find the Novavax vaccine and fact sheet at findnovavax.com.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but also our community.
And the Subaru Share the Love event is truly an example of that.
Over $285 million donated is phenomenal.
It absolutely sets us apart from all other car companies.
Right now, get a new Subaru, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the
Get your party started for less at Target.
Whoa, the new iPhone 15. With that amazing camera, I'll be sharing pics from the swell. You do not want to see yourself skiing. You look like a marshmallow.
Join T-Mobile and get 4 new iPhone 15s on us and 4 lines of unlimited for $25 a line.
Well, about 2 weeks from today, the full start of ACC play happens. Of course, we had the early games over the last few weeks. These are the teams in the top 25. My question for you, Dan, what type of year do you think it'll be in the league after a year where you had 5 teams separated by a game in the standings last year?
Well, the ACC is always very competitive, and I don't expect anything different this year, Connor. What the ACC, their problem the last couple of years as a league is that their teams have not performed as well in the non-conference portion of the schedule as they needed to. So by the time they get to conference play, the dreaded net is not very good. You have a lot of teams with bad net rankings, and so there's no way really to improve. But this year, for the most part, ACC teams have done what they need to do in the non-conference part of the schedule, and that's win the games they're supposed to win. Virginia Tech is a perfect example of that. They've won all the games they're supposed to win. They did lose to South Carolina. They did lose to Florida Atlantic. They did lose to Auburn. No shame there. They've got pretty good victories against Boise State and Iowa State. So this is a Virginia Tech team that has put themselves in position that if they have a good year in the ACC, then they're looking at going back to the NCAA tournament.
A couple of top 100 wins as Padula gets fouled with the Boise State and Iowa State wins. These are the losses that Virginia Tech has at 7-3 at the start of this game. 2-point loss to South Carolina, top 30, and then 2 top 20 teams in the net. FAU off that great run to the national championship game. And Mike Young could not say enough nice things about what Bruce Pearl has done with that environment down at Auburn. That was a tough place to go down and play, and Janai Broom went for 30 points in that game.
Well, obviously, if you're thinking about your own situation, not trying to compliment Bruce Pearl, he has done a great job, and that is a great atmosphere. But you would have liked to have won at least one of those 3 games, but you didn't. But there's no problem with those losses. They haven't lost any games that they should not have lost.
A big chance for the league tonight if you're staying up late, which I think you should. 10 o'clock Eastern time start on ESPN2. NC State has a chance against a ranked Tennessee team to really help out the ACC's case. Rex Steiner is saying goaltending, and he was right. Iofalia got that on the way down or up against the backboard, called for the goaltender.
Well, if the ball hits the board above the rim and it's touched, then it is a goaltending call. And that appeared to be a good call. Now the referees, they can review that if they want to at the next TV timeout, but they don't have to review it. Doesn't look like there's much there to review.
No. So Rex Steiner has gotten a lot of clock these last couple games. Padula was out the last game.
2-point baskets good by 32.
When we talked to Mike Young about Padula's status today, he was confident that Padula was going to play. As far as a restriction, he didn't give much on that. He just said probably, but it was also Thursday when we talked to him.
He said he wasn't in charge of that. That was up to the medical people. But obviously he'd pay attention to the medical people, but even if the training staff gave Padula a total green light, Mike Young is still going to have something to say about the minutes Padula plays. Padula was an Iron Man last year, and the Hokies have more options this year, I guess is the right way to say it. So you don't, particularly with Padula coming off of a foot injury, you don't need to be playing him a lot in a game like this.
He was in a boot for that last game against Valparaiso. There's a foot sprain that he had at the end of the Louisville game. It was the final play of the Louisville game. And that held him out of practice for a couple days and then out of that Valpo game. But with a week off, good to go again today.
We're talking about ACC teams in the top 25. One of the most pleasant surprises, not only in the ACC, but in the country, has been the Clemson Tigers. They have really performed well. And I think both the Duke Blue Devils and the North Carolina Tar Heels, they're still putting things together. They're both going to be very, very good. But, you know, November, December is when you're supposed to be building your team.
And checking in the Hokies, 34.
And the Virginia Cavaliers, they're coming up next. They are 8-1, and when they lost to Wisconsin, everybody said, oh, that's just terrible. But obviously, opinion has changed in the last couple weeks as the Badgers have proven their mettle.
You mentioned Clemson at the start of the day, 9-0. They're playing Memphis today. And Clemson coming in at 13th in the poll. Wins against South Carolina, Pitt, Alabama, Boise State. Good wins. Not just 9-0 against nobody. It's Poteet with the hook in the finish for the Hokies.
And that Alabama win was at Alabama, and I suspect there's not going to be a lot of teams that go down to Alabama and win this year. Or any year for that matter.
Yep. And a driving kick out for a long three. Short on it. Offensive rebound for Jackson Skipper. And Alamutu can't hit on the three for the Catamounts.
Those were a couple of open threes, and again, I think when you see this kind of defensive pressure, even when you're open, you start to go a little bit too fast on your shot.
A long off the jab, cut off on the baseline. Alamutu right with him. Late in the clock. That's heavy for Camden, and one and done for the Hokies.
But again, good ball movement, wide open shot. You'll take that every time.
Recovery from Young. Alamutu to the rim, off the spin. Nice move. He got two.
By that time, he had an advantage against Kidd. If he's trying to guard Kidd down low, then it's advantage Kidd. But Alamutu at 6'5", handles the ball pretty well, can drive it to the basket. That's a hard defensive assignment. No, it's not Kidd. It was actually Poteet.
Oh, Long almost tipped that back. And Poteet is down. Elijah Poteet down. Back up, headed into this timeout.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique. And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
People are choosy, and people can choose from different types of COVID-19 vaccines too. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted is a protein-based choice. It has not been approved by the FDA, but it has been authorized for emergency use as a COVID-19 vaccine for people ages 12 and up. The Novavax vaccine is not an mRNA vaccine. Instead, it uses traditional protein-based technology to help protect against COVID-19. Don't get the vaccine if you've had an allergic reaction to it or its ingredients. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Cases of myocarditis and pericarditis have occurred. Side effects may include injection site reactions, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, joint pain, nausea or vomiting, and others. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if this vaccine is right for you. Find the Novavax vaccine and fact sheet at findnovavax.com.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but also our community.
And the Subaru Share the Love event is truly an example of that.
Over $285 million donated is phenomenal.
It absolutely sets us apart from all other car companies.
Right now, get a new Subaru, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
SoFi is helping me get my money right to achieve my ambitions. Want to see? Like saving for the ultimate tailgate setup. Like the perfect hedges. SoFi can help you fund all your ambitions, no matter how big or small. Hey, ready? Right. Like investing in the athletes of tomorrow.
Arby's added 6 pieces of bacon to Arby's burger. Adding more stuff wouldn't be responsible. So Arby's took a step back and doubled the cheese anyway. Arby's, we have the meat.
Downtown Blacksburg ready for the holidays. So is the snowman, who apparently can detach from its lower body and dunk. It's some major ups from
that would
the
be a
upper
helpful
two-thirds of Frosty. Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Can you imagine if Lynn Kidd could just do that, detach from the waist, go up to the rim?
Well, I don't know. It'd be hard. You have to make sure you reconnect.
Frosty did it. I don't need to see a real human do it. Inside 8 minutes to go. Virginia Tech up big on their way to, yeah.
Frosty is not a real snowman.
No? Not a believer in Frosty, huh?
No, Nickel with another 3.
Virginia Tech, as that graphic shows, are really hard to beat when they're making outside shots. 10 threes again today. This would be 5-0, unless Vermont does a lot of that.
Well, now Vermont, that is only their 4th three-point basket made in this game. They come in averaging almost 11 a game, and their lowest three-point total this year was back in November the 6th against Merrimack. They had 7. So it's not only Virginia Tech's ability to make threes, it's been their ability to defend the 3 as Kidd gets called for a walk.
And usually Vermont makes more than 10 threes a game, which is top 15 in the country. This is Jackson Skipper from out wide.
And that was not a totally uncontested 3, but that's the way they want to do it. They want to draw the defense and then kick it out, but they just haven't been able to get that play very much today.
Skipper, and foul call.
Actually,
let the on-ball D.
Let me correct myself. That was only their 3rd 3 of the game. They only had 2 before that, so they got a ways to go until they get to their over 10.
Obviously, shot making always important, but especially when you want to go on the road and pull off an upset. But especially for Vermont, 42% of their points this year have come from three, which is third in the country. Only Creighton and North Florida score more from out deep.
But what the Virginia Tech defense has done against a team that likes to move the ball is it has really cut down on their ball movement and player movement. It has forced them into a more one-on-one kind of situation, and Vermont just isn't very good at that. Real credit to the Virginia Tech defense, and John Becker, his team got so far behind so early, it's just been impossible to have an answer.
He kind of knew what he was getting into playing this Virginia Tech team defensively. He used the word stress like 4 or 5 different times answering our question about the Virginia Tech defense. That's the theme he kept coming back to. They really, really stress you out, especially with what we like to do on offense.
Checking in for the Hokies.
But as we have seen today, Connor, it's one thing to know that's going to happen, and it's another thing to try to get your guys to adjust to it. You can talk all you want about it, but you can't simulate that with the kind of defense that Virginia Tech has played against them. A bunch of big, strong guys in practice.
Patrick Wessler into the game. You wonder if the day is done for Hunter Cattoor. That's the last we've seen of him. If it is 10 points, another double-digit scoring game for Cattoor.
I think it's the last we've seen of Cattoor. I think it's the last we've seen of Kidd.
Driving kick for a 3, and that goes in. Seen some good stuff from Seth Joba today. They're long fighting for the extra one and keep it down here with the Hokies. Seeing that Joba 3, this has to be the team with the most lefties on it in the country.
They got a lot of them.
You know, John Becker was even saying, yeah, I mean, they're all good. They all can shoot. We're going to keep recruiting lefties if we get them like this. They have 3 in their starting lineup, Dan. They have Ferretto, they have TJ Long, and haven't seen a lot from Shamir Bogues, but he's a guy that can hit shots with that left hand, too. What's the most you can remember in a game you've worked, or maybe even going back to your playing days? Is there like an all-lefty starting 5 you can think of?
That's a hard question. I played at Virginia with a really good left-handed shooter, a guy by the name of Jim Hobgood. You know, not a famous guy or anything, but I'm telling you, he would have scored. He would have been one of the all-time leading scorers at Virginia if they had a three-point line back in the day. He was one of those guys who, as soon as he walked in the building, he was open and he wasn't afraid to shoot it. And I think that's fairly typical of left-handed shooters.
Mekhi Long breaks out for the dunk.
Hokies continue to work hard on defense. And again, here's Vermont, a lot of dribbling, everybody's standing around, and that's what happens. Everybody stands around, and so you're not really ready to shoot that three-point shot, even when the defense does collapse.
And long inside for Wessler. Fell off into the hands of Joba.
Opportunity for both coaches to give some guys who don't play a lot a little bit more time.
And a nice take from Brent Mills. See him streak in for a couple of layups. He'll have one more after the timeout. Off the loose ball. Now with his left hand, but with both hands. Mekhi Long flushing it for the Hokies, who lead big in their home gym.
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. What a smooth handoff.
They're taking that to the house.
Nice technique.
And football snacks.
The perfect Saturday.
People are choosy, and people can choose from different types of COVID-19 vaccines too. The Novavax COVID-19 vaccine adjuvanted is a protein-based choice. It has not been approved by the FDA, but it has been authorized for emergency use as a COVID-19 vaccine for people ages 12 and up. The Novavax vaccine is not an mRNA vaccine. Instead, it uses traditional protein-based technology to help protect against COVID-19. Don't get the vaccine if you've had an allergic reaction to it or its ingredients. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Cases of myocarditis and pericarditis have occurred. Side effects may include injection site reactions, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, joint pain, nausea or vomiting, and others. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if this vaccine is right for you. Find the Novavax vaccine and fact sheet at findnovavax.com.
What I feel in my heart during the Subaru Share the Love event, it's just so rewarding.
We believe in love, not just our customers, but also our community.
And the Subaru Share the Love event is truly an example of that.
Over $285 million donated is phenomenal.
It absolutely sets us apart from all other car companies.
Right now, get a new Subaru, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Get 2.9% APR financing on a new 2024 Outback during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event.
Whoa, the new iPhone 15. With that amazing camera, I wish my family had them.
Zoe, you're an action star. Take action. Join T-Mobile and get 4 new iPhone 15s on them and 4 lines for $25 a line.
With that camera, I'll be sharing pics from the slopes.
You do not want to see yourself skiing.
Yeah, I'm good at skiing. Your stunt woman is.
This holiday at T-Mobile, get 4 new iPhone 15s on us and 4 lines of unlimited for $25 a line.
What do you think of the jacket? You look like a marshmallow.
Well, the John Wall dance move was big for a while. This kid brought back the Dan Bonner dance move from the 70s.
This is a very impressive move here by this young man. And so that kid's got some impressive moves. This kid has some impressive moves as well. Lynn Kidd he's on the bench now. They cleared out the starters, but Kidd operates very effectively in the low post. He has been a load down there to guard, getting just about anything he wants. We set Kidd out of the game now. He finished with 17 points, made 9 for 11 free throws, had 11 rebounds, also had an assist.
Third double-double of the year for Kidd. 17 points, 11 rebounds. So he'll likely watch as the other guys try to bring this to the finish line on what would be a third straight win for Virginia Tech. Wessler with the left again, and he's fouled.
And even though this margin is what it is, and Virginia Tech has been dominant throughout, this is a very good win from Virginia Tech because Vermont, you mentioned, they are favored to win the America East. They could be in the NCAA tournament again. They were last year, so this is a very, very good Vermont program. But Mike's young guys just use their size and their strength to just dominate the game from the outset.
We started the show talking about how, sometimes you schedule a game that's almost a guaranteed win when you're coming off final exams. This was not that for Mike Young and Virginia Tech. As you mentioned, Vermont has won the America East several times. They've been to the NCAA tournament back-to-back years.
Well, they have
Virginia Tech made it look like one of those games.
Yeah, they have won or shared the last 7 America East titles, and they've won the conference tournament 5 times. Now, they've only been to 4 NCAA tournaments because 1 year they won the conference tournament was the COVID year. But this is a program, they don't rebuild, they just reload and they keep going. They had no answers today, though.
They'll go on the road for a couple more against MAC teams. They play Miami, Ohio, and Toledo next before they get Brown after the new year. Then it's America East time for the Catamounts. is the second to last non-conference game for Virginia Tech. They get American on Thursday. And then it's go time for real. 19 straight ACC games with Wake on ESPN2 on the 30th.
And that should be an interesting matchup. It's at Wake Forest, and the Deeks have been a little inconsistent this year, but they have shown that they're very capable. Be a challenge for Mike Young and his Hokies.
Show out on Skipper. And Rechsteiner runs over Mills.
Fouls on Virginia Tech.
1-1 time for Vermont.
That's his second. 17th foul of the half.
And as well as Virginia Tech has played defensively, there haven't been a lot of fouls in this game.
Kai Long is the only guy on either team that's gotten into any sort of foul trouble with 4. Everybody has stayed clean outside. Coming up tomorrow, it's Purdue at number 14 Notre Dame, noon Eastern time. Good in-state matchup in Indiana, ACC Network and the ESPN app. High noon tomorrow. There'll be a 3-point shooting foul for Virginia Tech with Connor Venable off the bench, getting some late clock here for the Hokies.
2-1 for Hokies, 55.
The second time that Virginia Tech's been able to get them into a game this year, played the final minute against Valpo.
And when you only play like that and you only have one shot on the year coming in and you have a chance to squeeze off a 3, that's what you do.
Hopes the third one will be the one that sticks. Around the ACC, we're talking about Clemson, Dan. They went to Memphis today. 13th ranked Tigers took their first loss.
They were ahead in that game at halftime, but Memphis, that's at Memphis. That's a heck of a tough road game. Memphis playing pretty well. Georgia Tech winning away from home against Penn State. Notre Dame, that was going to be a tough game against Georgetown, but again, a very competitive Notre Dame team, a team that people didn't expect very much from, but they've actually played pretty well, losing that one in overtime, and then Pitt, no problem with South Carolina State.
And that was the game you saw right before us on ACC Network. We'll see Northeastern and Virginia right after this final minute. Rechsteiner, nice feed for the dunk. It's Wessler receiving it for the slam.
Now, Rechsteiner's reputation is that he's a pure point guard. There looks like one there.
And Rechsteiner leaves it off again, and this will go Vermont's way.
And he gets the ball to the court. That is just a great pass. You find your big guy in the middle, and when your big guy's running the court, it's great to reward it. Nice pass, one-handed pass.
Joba underneath in the swat. Wessler gets hands on. Mills mid-range, no. Tap back, yes. Alamutu.
Really impressive win by Virginia Tech.
A day that started with 3s going down for everybody leads to a 3rd consecutive win for the Hokies. And after the final exam break, they get to 8-3 with the win over Vermont.